What up, YouTube? Jay Wilson here. Haven't posted a video since I did The Rock. It's been a while. Been busy with work, family. Sorry. Hope all is well in YouTube land. Been on Instagram, jwill07. Want to just give a shout out to Convict on Instagram, Chief Crazy Kai. I know he wanted Guy. Dolly VH, Mr. Honey to You. Rizzo, Big Munoz, Lou9294. Thank you guys for, just keeping me motivated in this thing. I'm really digging this cichlid deal, man. I really do. I've got some plans for a grow-out tank in my garage here shortly. I wanted to bring a video to you called Jumping the Gun. Bang! The reason why I wanted to bring this video to you is I think a lot of us do this in this hobby, new and old. I'm a noob, rookie, amateur. A lot of us do it, and I'm going to use somebody as an example. I talk to them first before I do this, so please in the comments don't say, I can't believe you used somebody without talking to them first. I did talk to them. They said I can use them as an example. I'm going to use Convict as an example. The reason why I say jumping the gun is Convict had a cloudy tank, and he was having issues, and he couldn't figure out how to get clear water. A lot of us are pretty good at giving advice. I mean, a lot of people can give great advice. Most of us can. 99.9% of us have a piece of advice that we can give somebody that will work. Sorry about that. That was my bird. But Convict was leaving pieces of information out unintentionally. And we all do it all the time. And so that's why I call it jumping the gun. We see something, we get frustrated, we get over anxious. This is a hobby that we get crazy with. And sometimes we get so crazy we go over deep, and we spend a lot of money on it. It takes a lot of our time, and sometimes it wears us out. And so I think that's what it was doing to him. So we jumped on Instagram, and it was getting flooded with comments. He probably hit forums. And the number one thing for cloudy water is do some water changes, right? I mean, that's what a lot of people will tell you. I mean, there's probably some other things, but one of the number one things is do a water change. But what if your tank was cycling? If you're doing water changes, your tank's just going to keep cycling. Well, Convict was leaving information out that he ended up telling me, because I spent a lot of time with him on the phone over the course of a couple weeks, that he, didn't have a lot of filtration. He had two 110 AquaClears on there, but his tank was overstocked. He has a lot of great driftwood in there. His tank is sweet. His driftwood setup is awesome. But it collects a lot of debris. So I don't think his 110s were actually stirring up what it needed to stir up. So we put a circulator in there. He ended up getting a Fluval 405 or 406. I wasn't sure what he got. Started to clear it up a little bit. I told him don't do some water changes. He said, well, why not? And I said, well, potentially you're putting your tank through a cycle, because I started to do a little bit of investigation. I started asking him some probing questions that you're not necessarily going to get on Instagram, you're not going to get on forums, because there's a lot of time gap. I'm on the phone with this guy. And I started asking him, hey, when you clean your filters, how do you clean them? He says, oh man, I take the sponges out and I get them white again, they look brand new. He was literally stripping BIOS straight off his filters. I mean, he was making these bad boys new again. So he was putting his tank back into a cycle. That's why his tank was cloudy. And he was getting this information from whoever to do this stuff. And it's not the right information he should be getting. So I gave him information that I thought was the right information and said, you shouldn't necessarily do that. You have two 110s. You shouldn't clean them both at the same time. You should potentially clean one one time, and later on down the line you should clean the other one. And those foam cubes are biohoarders, and you should leave those. You shouldn't clean those completely. You can rinse them off, not under your sink in chlorinated water, but in tank water. And it shouldn't be to the fact where they're brand new. You just get off the debris so that water can get back through them. And you replace the chemical media if you need to, if you got carbon and stuff like that in there. But I mean, he was really cleaning these bad boys out. He was taking the plants out. He was stripping all the stuff off there. I mean, he was making this tank brand new. So that's why his tank was cloudy. And people were giving him good information on there. But again, he was jumping the gun, and he was listening, and he kept putting his tank into a cycle. So I talked to him. We discussed some things. I gave him some advice. And you know, when I give somebody advice, if I'm giving you advice on Instagram or I'm giving you advice on YouTube, guys, you don't have to take it. You don't. It's just merely advice. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything. My brain can't hold everything. I learn a lot of stuff from you guys. I like to read a lot. But if I tell you something, I want to help you. And if you don't want to take it, that's fine. So we talked. I said, I think you need to reduce your stock a little bit. And he agreed. And if anybody knows Convict, when he agrees to something, I mean, he's like, BAM! I mean, he goes crazy for it. So he did. He reduced his stock. He added a Fluval 405. I told him, don't touch his tank. Less is more in his situation. And it was. Less is more. His parameters were perfect. He had no ammonia. His nitrites were perfect. He had barely any nitrates in his tank. Okay? We added a circulator. We added that 405. I said, don't touch that canister. You let that canister build up that bio. You need it. I said, don't touch those 110s because you need it. So it started going. You know, that circulator was kicking up a bunch of crap. So his nitrates were going to spike. So we let it go for about 7 days, you know, and I talked him through this whole thing. So to make a long story short, Convict's tank cleared up. Okay? And I said, can I do a video on jumping the gun? And he said, yeah, please, because, you know, I think we talked about it, and a lot of people do this. And I'm currently going through that right now with my tank. Nitrates have spiked. I've got 8 ppm of ammonia coming through my city water out of my faucet. I'm using safe, but it's getting really frustrating. And I've done 2 water changes. I'm still got a little bit of cloudy water. I don't know if my tank is recycling itself for some reason. You know, sometimes you get that miraculous crash. It happens. But I'm trying not to jump the gun. I'm trying to do less is more. Because sometimes that is the best remedy. I've got one of my blue neons. It's probably one of the best fish I have as far as color. He's still got the color, but he's got Popeye. I don't want to lose him. So shout out to Lou9294. He's doing that great giveaway. I've got some Vogel coming in. Hopefully this stuff works. I'm gonna get it in there. Hopefully it can help clear them up. I'm doing the salt, heat, and water change thing right now. But guys, the moral of the story is jumping the gun. Sometimes less is more. We leave out a lot of information when we look on forums and we look to get information, because not everybody can stand by 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on a forum or Instagram or Twitter or even YouTube. Sometimes you need a buddy that you can call, you can text message, that can give you information, that can probe with you, that can talk with you. And don't take probe the wrong way either. That can literally bounce information back and forth to get the full picture of your tank, almost like they were standing there. And some of you guys got people that live really close that can come over and really help you. So I just really wanted to get this video out there. Me and Convict thought it would be a good idea to get it out there. And I hope it was beneficial to some of you. I just wanted to say, Toxic Panda, I can feel your pain with the Planet Tank. I know you're getting really frustrated with it. The only thing I can say is hang in there. I don't have a Planet Tank myself, but I know once they do get established, they're a beautiful thing. They pretty much, I mean, they're beautiful. I see a lot of these guys. Dolly VH has got a beautiful one. Convict's got a beautiful one. But I can see your frustrations. And that's, I know it's part of the game, but I just wanted to say, hang in there, kid. So thank you for tuning in. please hit subscribe. I want to do some more giveaways. I can't do more giveaways if I don't have some subscribers. The next one I'll probably do is when I hit 500. I know that's far away. That's I think I need like 300 more, close to 300 more. Instagram, jwool07. You guys can follow me on there. I do a lot of posts. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a great day.